How's it going, guys? It's Joe. Welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you a bit of Grand Arena footage to change it up a bit. It's going to be a bit of a long video, so I hope you guys stick around to the end. Just to give you a brief overview of my last Grand Arena match, I lost because I pretty much just lost one battle, and the other player was too efficient for me and he was able to defeat all my defenses. So in this next round we're going to be going against this gentleman here, and hopefully we get the best out of it. He's already done his attack and he's done about 1854. And just to show you what I put on defense here, I like to put a lot of my separatist squads on defense as well as my Old Republic, and my geos are essentially a staple there in the back line, and I put my maxed out gas team on the back line there as well. So without further ado, let's get started. So in my first battle here, guys, I'm going to be going against a Grievous Separatist droid team. Typically with these teams, I like to use my Jedi Knight Revan and my Bastila Shan. However, I didn't have much success in the last one because they were reliced up so much. So today we're not going to do that, and we're going to go right for Sith Empire. I might remove Malik here, just because I can always use the Sith Trooper, or the Sith Empire Trooper that is, and he can taunt from the beginning and give us a little bit of protection so our DPS characters don't get killed off in the opening salvo. So to begin with here, I've got Darth Revan modded really fast, so he goes first, spread that ferocity around. Now I'm going to put fear onto the Magna Guard. Everyone else is stealth on the opposing team, but very soon, as you will see, I will be able to get Death Mark on Grievous right after this and kill him off. And that's it. Game, set, and match. If Grievous is down, you've got a really high chance of winning. Essentially, that's what you want to do against the Grievous team, is try and get him down as soon as you can, because the longer the match goes, and if one of the droids goes down first, Grievous has the upper hand. So towards the end here, there's really not much to say. I'm going to target Droidica, spread more ferocity, gain those potency up, and we get the win. So for the next match here, guys, I'm going to be going against a Jedi team here, and I believe I have a superior Jedi team, so I'm going to mirror it with my Jedi Knight Revan team. Now, I relic my Jedi team for Geo LSTB, and I was hoping for the best possible outcome in those battles. However, I didn't find that much success with them, just because they didn't have enough survivability when it came to the opening salvo. I've also tried it with a Bastila Shan lead, but unfortunately it didn't really work out either. So there's more theory crafting to be had with a Jedi team. But for this particular match, I wanted to target Jolee straight away, just because I knew he wasn't reliced up and probably didn't have the amount of protection to protect himself. And that way we can get rid of those revives later on. So I'm going to mark Jolee here, and I have a lot of offense mods on my Yoda at the moment, which will help. So he's marked my Jedi Knight Revan as well. I'm going to get that assist onto Yoda, and I'm going to place my buffs here on Yoda as well to spread more buffs later on. AoEs and basic there, and Jolee's almost down. Place that assist and ease off. So at the moment here, I made a mistake using the assault team onto Jedi Knight Revan, as he had buff immunity, clearly. I wasn't thinking clearly at the time, but you know, I'm going to spread those buffs there and utilize my AoE and get Jedi Knight Revan out of the way. So clearly I had the upper hand in this match, guys, just because of relics. But this guy, he was about 500,000 GP more than me, and it just so happened that he's saved up a lot of his characters that are reliced up for offense. which he did well because he pretty much one-shotted my gas team in the back line, and that was a maxed gas team as well. So in the back line here, it looks like it's a first order team, but I'm gonna go for the top as I want to see what's going on in the back line as well. So let's use this CLS team here. And at this point I was thinking I didn't want to use any more of my rebels, but I'm happy to use 3PO here. But let's just throw in Wampa. So we're going to be doing a mirror match, and unfortunately there Han Solo went first. So the first thing you want to hit is that Chewbacca, just to get rid of the guard. So now that the guard's gone, I'm going to go for Han Solo. He's the biggest DPS for the opposing team. And with relics here, I've got Han Solo Relic 6, which he applies so much damage once you get him to a higher relic level. Get some exposes with 3PO, and we're stuck behind an old Ben Kenobi taunt. And Wampa does a lot of damage here as well, but CLS will be able to go through that taunt and attack whoever he wants to attack, which helps a lot. As you can see, we got rid of Han Solo that way. Now we're going to go for CLS here. And that's game, set, match. So here's a Geonosian team here at the top. Just for this video, I really wanted to try out my First Order squad with the Sith Trooper. And I was tempted to use a Darth Traya just to ensure the win, but I really wanted to see how First Order fares. However, I don't think I did too well in this, just because I was playing around too much and I actually threw in Thrawn here. I was hoping I still had Wat Tambor, but then I realized I put him in my defense in the Separatist squad. So in the next GAC, I will put Wat Tambor and see how that fares with a First Order squad. So I put First Order Executioner, and I'm gonna place Thrawn. The trouble with this is that Thrawn doesn't really have that much synergy, although he does add some protection. He himself does not have that much protection for survivability. So I've got a taunt here on the Geo Brute that I'm stuck behind. So I'm gonna use my mass assist here to start off with. Once that's done, I can go after the brood here. So I use my basic, I put my stun onto that brute, and I'm gonna fracture brood. Unfortunately, I lost Thrawn so early, and I've lost fracture as well. So I could have utilized just an extra burner First Order character here, and that way I probably would have been able to maximize the output for damage on the Sith Trooper. As every time a character dies on your team, your Sith Trooper gains advantage and takes a turn and is able to use his AoE as well. So as you can see, he's doing some work here. He's able to drop a couple of geos before he dies himself. So I've got 3 remaining there. And unfortunately lost the match. That's a pretty relic geos team, if you ask me, like a relic 7 geo brood. And I believe the relic 4 is the geo spy. So I'm gonna go back to that. I'm gonna go against this First Order team here. So the other thing I did was that I put BB-8 on defense with my GG droid squad, and that's actually worked really well for me, as on defense the opponent had to use 2 teams just to drop my GG and BB-8 squad. So I put R2 here, he's the fastest, so I'm gonna add some stealth to the team. I'm gonna do ability block onto Kylo Ren there, and I'm gonna go for the panda here. So I'm gonna throw this grenade. The other thing was I was playing around a bit with Resistance Hero Finn. He's definitely a good addition to this team. Spreading that exposes, and now I'm gonna go for Kylo Ren. And Inspired is a really good mechanic as it just ramps up your whole team. When he throws that grenade as well, every character on your team does their role. So a taunt will taunt, and essentially attackers assist. It works well for the team. They've got a Zeta on this Kylo Ren and they're pretty tanky. So it took me a while to actually accomplish this fight. But the key to this fight is to get the healing immunity onto Kylo Ren, as well as Kylo Ren unmasked. And that way they just stop healing and stop replenishing their protection. Because the more debuffs you apply on them, the more recovery they gain. So I'm going to go for Kylo Ren unmasked here. I'm going to use that second ability on Rey, and that effectively destroys Kylo Ren there. So this is the long bit here, as it took me a while to get the cooldowns up for that without BB-8. So that's the only struggle with this team if you don't have BB-8, is his data transfer does so much for the team in terms of turn meter. So at this point, this should have been finished by now with BB-8 on the team. Unfortunately, I didn't have him, so I keep transferring turn meter onto Rey there, just to get it going quicker. And now I've got healing immunity onto Kylo Ren, which will speed up the win. So remove that turn meter, and finally. So I'm gonna go back and fight this Geo team, but I really wanted to make sure that I get it this time around. So although I wasn't sure what was behind this particular tier, I still had a Padme team sitting around, so I'm happy to use my Malak here as well. And that saves me from using my Darth Nihilus, so I'm gonna place Isolate onto Sun Fac there, so get him to stop taunting. And I'm gonna get Held by Hatred very shortly. I'm going to use a second ability there, get rid of Sun Fac. Now I'm stuck behind a Brute Taunt, but the basic gets rid of the Brute, and he eventually revives and heals up. So the main target here really is the Spy, but I'm stuck behind this Taunt, which is pretty annoying. But now I've got a shot at the Brood Alpha, so I'm going to use the third ability there, and we've won. So I was thinking to myself at this point that I lost one match and he has lost one match as well. So in order to win this, I'm going to have to underdog a couple of fights. So I was thinking this Old Republic team here in the back, I can probably save Anakin for later on. So I'm going to use my Padme squad here with Ahsoka and General Kenobi. And that way I still have a couple of teams left. So this should be a fairly easy matchup. At the beginning I wanted to target Mission here, use my kick, get a stun. I'm going to use my Mass Assist and Zalbar Taunts, increase protection up by using Ahsoka's second ability. Now I'm going to use the Cleanse and remove Zalbar's Taunt for the minute. Use that AoE. And now I've got Zalbar red in health. So with Padme's protection up here, I gain a lot of immunity from buffs and as well as crit damage. So it helps a lot. 61 banners, I'll take it. So in the back here, I'm going to be going against this Phoenix squad, and I'm going to use my Palpatine lead and Visas Ma here. So the other thing that I wanted to try out was, because I've got Visas Ma at gear 12, and her third ability actually applies defense penetration to your team. So essentially you can do so much more damage with Visas on the team. Apply ability block onto Hera there, and try and get my Annihilate as soon as possible. Get some stuns out and some daze. Get another ability block on Sabine, which didn't happen. So that's the third ability here, Piercing Strike. So everyone has penetration, defense penetration. And she also counterattacks every time she's attacked, which helps a lot. There's definitely more theory crafting had to be Visas Ma. Once I get her relic up. So Dark Healing there drops some of that Phoenix squad. And I've got Annihilate. Gonna use this on Kanan. Plant some more stuns here. Drop Zeb. And now I'm just with Chopper. So this particular GAC was fairly easy, I would say. I wasn't as efficient as I should have been because I was testing around a little bit. But I believe there's so much with that first order team with the Sith Trooper. I just have to practice a bit more and see which team synergy is the most effective. So towards the end here, I'm just going to use my Jedi squad. I've got Plo Koon here at gear 11. Or I'll use Ezra instead. And Mace, but Anakin's AoE is insane. It just does the job. And even his leadership actually ramps up your whole team's offense. So I'm actually quite glad that I saved him there. I just threw in Mace Windu here, just for kicks. So I'm going to use that heal just to get my protection up a little bit. Get a taunt on old Ben. This is a very old school rebel lineup here with Sheridan Bays. That used to be meta at one point, actually. Just because of Baze's taunt and protection at the time. But now that we have Anakin and he's reworked, he just does so much damage. And easy wins, guys. Easy wins. So like I said before, he saved so much on his offense that he didn't really do much on his defense, although his Geo team was pretty formidable. It was a pretty decent GAC, and I only won by 30 points there, as you can see. So if I didn't actually underdog some of those lineups, I believe I probably would have lost. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the footage today. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.